Okay, Phil, I am going to walk you through from a lead all the way to a closed deal. Um, I'm going to have my son edit out my typing and things like that to bump it through as fast as we can as far as all those things. I'll probably, once I enter a few things, I'll jump to a couple live accounts in here just so you can see live stuff going on. I'll probably jump around from maybe one SSA to another. I've got a seat in everybody's to help them move things through. So anyway, let me get started. And the first thing, no CRM is any good until you get a lead in. So we're going to put a lead in right quick, and we're going to set an appointment. Okay, now we're going to set this salesman up. Let's set it up for James Gawali. Inquiry date is today. That way you can always watch your funnel time on how long it takes to take a lead from a lead to a closed deal. How was the lead generated? Let's just say it was Google. If you put an email address in here, and I'm going to put my son, well, that's going to change things. No, that's okay. If you put an email address in here, the system, SSA, is going to send a welcome email out to your client. It's a standard welcome email. We'll send a template over to you. You can edit that down to just how you like it. Now we've got this in as a lead, and we can track it as a lead. So now we're ready to move it over and convert it to a client. One of our salesmen has met this client, and they're actually ready to go. So let's go. Ready, and we're going to give it a job number. You said that you were interested in that. This is going to be a total roof job. Now this is our roof data, and there's a difference because all of our data is about what's going on with the roof, and we're going to set up trades for what's going on with the job. So let's take a look here. We don't need a permit. You can that'll default to no, but you can put that if you like. The material is obviously not on location. Special warranty, that is if you sell a platinum warranty or a golden warranty, whatever general GAF sells there. Maintenance agreement, that is if you sell them an ongoing maintenance agreement, say $300, $400, $700 a year to go back out and check their home. The system will alert you when it's time to make an appointment with them and go out and do that. Supplement, you can put this, set this to yes, or like yes, Hope Gibson, or whatever, whoever is handling your supplements. And that way you know that you've got a supplement going on with it now. Documents missing from the salesman. If you've got a couple of documents like the contract and the scope that are missing, and yet this thing is set to ready, okay, we've got a problem. We need to get those documents. So that way this will display on the front page. You can drill down a little bit if you're answering the phone and you're saying, all right, well, Google sent this lead in, or the yellow pages, or whatever it might be. But if it's a Google, they might have said roofer near me. This is a big time popular keyword driving business right now. And you can put, by clicking that, who has access. Now what this will do, if you give access to people, anybody that you give access to, say it's a cross deal with salesman, anybody you give access to will have access to all of the files. That would be the pricing, contracts, everything. So we're going to go ahead and just update this job. And now we've got this job in here. We've got data. We've got our address. We can call this client if we were on mobile. And I'll shoot you a quick screencast of just a brief deal on mobile so you can see how it looks on an iPhone. These are our workflow buttons right here. This will take you over to Certainty, GAF, Atlas, or Owens Corning to pick out colors for your clients. These are the same buttons that you see, or excuse me, that your client sees in the client portal. So they're obviously not going to use some of these things, but your certainty button will certainly be there, and they can click that so they can go and pick out a color. The third-party authorization, if you're dealing with mortgage checks, that's important. You may have to get those. Some require it, some don't. Intent to repair, that's another deal that a mortgage company, some of them require it, some don't. This is a financing form with Green Sky. Kind of hard to put more than one in here because of liability issues and all. So, of course, Green Sky loves a paper application. Service Finance really loves a phone call. Completion certificate. If you want to do a completion certificate, we can also edit this for you, and it can say anything you'd like. The customer can sign this after the fact and accept that, both homeowners. And that way you've got, whoop, okay, this way, after your completion certificate, that is, some require this, some don't, but it's great for a liability release issue. That way, they're satisfied today, picked up your money, 6 months from now. If they come up and say, well, we're not satisfied and all that kind of stuff, you can, at least show this. You're not throwing anything in the face, but you can say, well, we've got a completion certificate. You can invoice them straight out of SSA. Even your salesman can invoice this. Some companies allow their salesman to invoice it. You can build it in accounting. You can build it in QuickBooks. And then the salesman, when they meet the client, can actually do the invoicing right there on the spot. We can set you up with Review Us. This is the same thing as like a guild survey and or a bird eye. A lot of contractors are using bird eye and guild survey now. This is something that we've got built in, and for August and September, we are giving this for the first year for free, and it's easy. All you have to do is click on that, and it will already pre-populate everything to your client, and you can send this directly to them. And the cool thing about this, it works just like Bird Eye. It will stop a negative review. If they give you a thumbs down, it's going to come to you guys in the office, and you can address it right there on the spot and find out what's going on. If they get a thumbs up, it's going to allow them to give you a star review first, and if you get under a 4-star, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to send that back to you guys in the office so it can be dealt with internally and find out what went wrong. If you get a 4 or 5-star, obviously it's going to go to Google, Facebook, Yelp, wherever you tell us that you want it to go, and that is a preset thing that we handle on the back-end dashboard for you. So this is how we get it all set up. So now let's go ahead. We've got a couple of trades that we need to do here. So let's go ahead and add a trade. This is going to be ready to go. It's alphanumeric, so I mean it's going to be default to there. But our first one is going to be the roofing, and we're going to put that with Vladimir's crew. And let's see, Will is going to be the crew chief for that, and we're going to put that on the crew calendar, and we're going to put that on for the 31st. And we're not going to give it a start time because it's a roof, so we're going to be there in the morning. If you were running repairs, you could pick a time, and it would put the time out to the side, and that way your crew would know, your production would know. So we're just going to leave that, and it's going to be a one-day job. So we're going to add this new trade, and we also have, excuse me, we also have gutters on this. So we're ready, even though we want to put that roof on first. And this is going to be a Julio job because it is a gutter, and Mickey is going to need to take care of that. And as far as the calendars, I'll show that to you. You can have as many calendars as you like. If you got roofing calendars and you want one for remodel and you want one for repairs, you can have as many as you want, and you can blend those together. So we're going to do that the day after, and again that's going to be an early morning start, so we don't need to put a start time frame. So now we've got our two trades, and let's go take a look at our roofing. So let's go ahead and fill out our work order. This is a small house, so it's 22 squares. Let's see, we got 22 squares, so we're going to need 66. Certainty, landmark. Okay, a ridge vent. We need one box to do it. Now down here you can put your 750s and other accessories that are pretty common on an attic. Excuse me, on a roof. So we typically are going to need pipe jacks, and we just use bronzes because it's there. And paint. If we're painting the hardware, we're going to need about, let's just say 30. 1.5. We're going to go with white. And down here you can put anything that is special, like you know, if you don't put MP1 on all of your roofs, that might be something that is not in the normal hardware. Let's say a sheet of decking, sheets of plywood here, CDX or whatever it might be. Here is where you can put the total work requested. So if you've got, stay off of the right side of the house. Okay, now you can just keep right on going, and your crew chiefs and production guys can see this. Now we're going to charge this customer $15,000, and we're going to update this work order. And you can see that now our work order is yellow. So let's go back to our job data, and let's take a look at what we have. We have it yellow, and now we have a instead of red, we have a blue. That means that we're ready to get this sent out. So let's go ahead and edit this, and let's go ahead and send this. We're going to send this to me, so it doesn't go to anybody. You can see that it's got pre-populated with an email. We can put as many in the background as you like there. We need that material there. And you can put whatever instructions you like. Now we can just check this and make sure we're looking good. Now we can either save it and like put it in will call. If this is just a partial order, basically the same thing as saving, but you'll know that it's a partial, but we're ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and submit this order. And let's go down and take a look at our orders. Okay. Now once ABC, me in this case, approves or reads this email, then we're going to get a red receipt, and this button will at that point change colors for us. So it'll be the same thing on a gutter order or anything else. You can you know, we can pre-populate that in configuration to whoever you might be ordering materials from. So let's take a look at what we have now. We've long since pushed past bids. If we have insurance information that we need to put in, we can just add that, whatever your claim information might be. Let's take a look at this order. Let's go back. And you see that we have a red receipt. So that email from the material supplier was read on July the 24th at 5:33 p.m. Now, once you get to the ground, if you want to, your production guys can actually check this in and do a received. So we can verify this, and this is the time frame that it would be showing, and we can take pictures of it and upload those right there on the spot. You can take anywhere from 1 to 20, whatever you want to do. So that is something that can help verify that you got the right material on the ground. You can do the same thing with all of your other materials. All right, now let's take a quick look at if we need to edit that job and change a salesman. If we wanted to upload inspection videos, you can just choose your file and then it would show here. You could click on it and watch your video. And on day number 61, those videos scrub over to what's called Amazon Glacier, and it takes anywhere from a few hours to, I don't know, it could take anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 or 3 hours to get that back loaded after 61 days. But it never goes away. 5 years from now, you can always go back and retrieve that, and they make that retrieval process faster and faster all the time. A year ago, it was taking upwards of a day, maybe even 2 days. So that's getting to be a faster process. Okay, if you need to add a job note, it's very easy to do. And then it's going to be populated right down here in notes. You can search these notes. It's not a big deal if you don't have but a few, but if you've got a long claim, say you've got one that's a roof, gutters, siding, had a supplement involved, that message thread could get quite long. So you can search keywords in there like supplement or adjuster, and it'll drop down to wherever your message threads are that have those keywords in them. You can send a message to anybody in the company. You can just pick them out right here, do your message. Say you need to send a picture to somebody for verification reasons or whatever. Hit send, and it's going to go straight to salesmen in the office, crew chiefs, production guys, whoever it might be. You can send your client an email straight to their client portal. Same thing. You might be sending them a contract. You might be sending them a bid. You might be sending them a multitude of things, and that will populate straight in their client portal, and it will also go to their email. Only administration can delete jobs. Now accounting, I know you said you were dealing with QuickBooks mostly, so you can use as much or as little of this as you would like. There are some cool things in here. You can invoice, and you can invoice out of QuickBooks as well. Now let's take a look at, let's see, labor sheets. You can pay your crew, and you know, we went from using other systems and it taking an hour or more to pay a crew. We can actually get a crew paid in under, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 minutes max if you've got a lot of wood and some other things that you're having to deal with. So you can save the labor sheet in here. It'll always be here. You can refer back to it. Administrative fees, depends on how you're paying your guys. If you're a 50-50 with a $1,000 administration fee, or if you've got a 12%, 10%, 5% administration fee, and then you're doing a 50-50 or a 60-40, or if you're a 10% gross, 12% with your upgrades, and say 15 to 20% on your repairs, it can handle any way you want to pay your guys. And that is strictly in commission settings. And I showed that to you briefly, but you can just pick a salesman and then just put exactly how you want to do it. And you can split this commission apart ever how you want to. If you need to drop down to files while you're in here, you can just use the quick links up at the top. And you know, accounting does a whole lot more. I'm trying to not get too long on you, but I do want to show you everything that it does in here. Bids, I know you're bidding out of QuickBooks, kind of like Watkins Construction and Jackson's doing. You can actually put that in here after you do it in there, depending on how you want to send it. Change orders. You get in the middle of a job, you're in the middle of the job, or you're fixing to start it, and that client changes his mind about the color of the shingles, drip edge, whatever it might be, and you need to cover yourself. So you can give a description on that change order. You can write it out as detailed as you want. If there's a charge on it, say they're going from a 3-tab capping up to a good hip and ridge, you're obviously going to need to do some charging there. So now you can actually do that change order right there on the spot. If the client's not there, and this is actually being done by a phone call, you can have them sign it through their client portal. Your production guy, your salesman, whoever's on the ground can sign it for the company. That can actually be done remotely too, if it has to be. And then they can do it in their client portal. Client portal looks basically like you're seeing here. Obviously, we need a picture of the house. Make sure we don't have any problems going on there. And let's see here. We got our orders. Our material returns, we went through that briefly today. All of our job actions. Let me go through the left-hand navigation bar. We got some stuff here where you can actually search your POs right straight from the dashboard. Now your clients button, you can add a client, add a lead, canvas mount. I know you said you're not knocking doors or anything, but you can still use this for a lot of other things. This is a functionality that we have built into SSA. So if you've got a neighborhood going here and you've been busy in the neighborhood, even if you're not canvassing it, you can look and see what's going on. Each one of these different colors is a different status, whether it be closed, dead, whatever it might be, working. You can quickly see what you're doing in a neighborhood, and you'll learn the statuses once you start doing them. Of course, there's the majority of your statuses are going to be like red, closed, appointment set, bid, and things like that. But this is a cool feature that, you know, a lot of people take advantage of. Your crew mounts. This is something that you can use to see where your crews are at any given day. So if you want to look, let's just say tomorrow, let's just see what we got. Okay, this one's got one job going on. So you can see where you are and how far you might be from some supplies if you need to know that, especially like on a Friday afternoon. You can export your client list at any time for a CSV upload to, say, Constant Contact, Mad Mimi, MailChimp, or something like that. So if you want to do an email blast to your clients, that's easy to do. It comes out in a CSV file, and then it's easy to import to other apps. You can find your click on Find Your Jobs and Clients, and this is your jobs map right here. Okay, on our reports, there is a multitude of reports from alerts report. We can set these up. Say you've got a job and it's been invoiced for more than 14 days. We can set alerts for 14 days, 1 day, 30 days, whatever it might be for any status on anything that you got going. And your statuses might be from appointment set, like why we got so many appointments set. We need to be running these leads, bids, payments. We've got one person in payments. Let's see here. Leads. A lot of leads need to be closing. Things like that. You can look at your user activity, and you can see that I demo out of here a good bit. So this will show you who's doing what in a system, and you can drill down to what pages they're even looking at. So just like alerts right here, we've got some jobs that don't have first checks. We've got some that have been invoiced for way too long, some forms. You can run a report on your canvas mount. Commissions due. This is something that if you've got some commissions due to your salesman, commission report, you can run this on a date, select time, and kind of drill down and see what's going on with your guys and see what they're doing. You can see what the commission was, what the net profit was on each job, and you can look at addresses and all that kind of stuff. Same thing with lead report and door knock ratio. Now this is something that I'd need to show at a little bit more time. You can actually, we have all kinds of information that we can put in here and get, whether you're knocking doors or running leads, it'll still show you the efficiency of your salesman. We've got some people that use this, but it's no good if the data is not in there. Order summary report. This is one that's pretty good. You can run this on say a quarter, a month, a year, and that way you can go back to your suppliers and your whoever you're buying material from and try to get your gates down and work your rebates. It really helps you. Obviously, they're going to have information about what you're buying too, but this is where you can keep up with it, and you can, show down to the bundle and every box of nails that you buy, where it came from, so you can hopefully negotiate you a better deal on your material and your material cost and your rebates and your gates, because those are all things that are extremely important. Payments received. That's another thing. You can look at what each salesman is doing on a date range, or you can just run it overall and get what your payments received reports are. Sales tax report. Some venues require that, like the state of Mississippi. Michael Deere has to keep up with that up in Jackson, but down in Louisiana, Will Lampton at Roof Crafters does not have to deal with it. It's only on material, and it's paid from the supplier. So he doesn't have to deal with that with the state of Louisiana, but there are many states that's not the case, and you can use that to help run your sales tax report. Shingle report. This is really cool. You can put in your date, and run a report, and you can find jobs that if your client wants to go see a particular shingle, like aged copper, that's pretty rare on a roof somewhere. So you can get them over to where they can take a look at that. Special warranty, same thing. You can run a report on, say it's a platinum, Sure Start 4 with Certainteed, or whatever, the Golden Pledge with GAF, whatever it might be. You can run reports on special warranties. Again, we went over the status and the users. Settings, configuration, we're going to handle all that for you, from your company information to your dashboard, how you want it set up. We just send you a questionnaire. If you've got a state license, we can put that on there, and anything that comes out of SSA to your clients, we'll have it on there. Email templates, this is really neat. You can set up a welcome email, 24-hour email on a roof installation. You can set up a special email template for a repair. Ever how many that you want to do, you can set those up. We'll set up your statuses. We just ask you what statuses you use. Trade types. You can put as many in here as you want. Some people do just roofing. Some do from the gutters to the interior work. How the lead was generated. This is another thing that we'll configure for you. We'll put all of the standard things in, like Google and Yellow Pages and things like that. And then if you've got things that you want to add to us, like Instagram, if you get stuff out of there, we'll add those in. Special job forms, that's just exactly what it is. If you have special forms there. And special job forms button, we can add buttons up in the workflow for you. We can put any link that you would like in there, so if you use special things. Calendars, we can add comma to limited, so you can actually do a comma and then put trade. You could put painting, you could put remodel, you could put whatever you wanted in there for calendars. So you could have numerous calendars if you like. Alerts, again, we can set those up for whatever you want, whatever time frame you want, and that way you can get an alert on your dashboard if something's running long from a lead to an invoice. Social media links, this is just simply what it is. We put this in here, and that way every time you send an email or send something out through SSA, it's going to go to your client. It's going to look more professional. It's going to be in their client portal, so they can always go to your social media. I see that you guys are really active on a lot of things out there, so y'all are getting after it. I'm sure that y'all would want to use some things like that. Job completion certificate, we can customize that for you. QuickBooks integration, that's something that does is still, you have to reauthorize that every 90 days, I think it is right now, or maybe every 6 months. But as a security issue, every so many months you do have to redo that. But that's something that's, once you configure it, that's something that's really easy to do. Twilio, if you're wanting to send text messages out of SSA, you can do that as well. We just have to help you set up a Twilio account and Company Cam. There's a lot of people that like Company Cam. We have a few people that are using it. Most are not, but it's a cool idea. Got a vacation calendar. So if you've got people that are going to be on vacation, you can keep up with that. Salesman's goals. That's another thing that'll go on your dashboard, and that's something that we can help you set up. It kind of they can kind of help set their own goals. It's really cool as a accountability component. Vendors, you can set up as many as you like, and we can add those for you. Support, we've got a full lineup of quick videos. Most of them are anywhere from 30 seconds to maybe a couple of minutes on key functionality in the system. Administrators can only see this lineup, and everybody in the company can see this lineup. So if somebody gets stuck out in the field and they don't know how to do something, they can do a quick video and walk them through. Tools, this is where you can blend all of your calendars together. So if you've got because you've got 6 different things going on like remodel, but you don't want to mess that over into the roofing, and same thing with gutters or some other things, you can separate those out. And right now we're right in the middle of adding a filter, so you can just click right here and you'll have a JavaScript drop down of, say, gutters, roofing, repair, whatever it might be. So we're going to, in the next couple of weeks, that'll even be easier to get to. Company announcement, you can send a company announcement through right here with a file attachment. It'll go to everybody that's a user in your SSA. Company files, this is where you can put things, JPEGs, PNG files, PDFs, any kind of format you can put in here for things that guys or gals through the company might need at various times. SWAT pass, clients really love to see that. Forms, financing forms, and things that they might need to go to. Again, the text messaging, that's something if we set up your Twilio account. Here's another cool thing, task calendars. Let's go to the all task calendar on this one, and you can see that we've got a lot of tasks in this company set up. Whenever a task goes onto the SSA calendar and you sync your calendar, your SSA calendar with your iCal or your Google Calendar, as soon as somebody gives a lead or a task out from the company, it's going to automatically sync over to their iCal or their Google Calendar. Task calendar, this is where you set that up. You can add a task and you can add it to one person, everybody in the company. You can set it up to groups. You can set the times, what it might be. Description, you can email this to anybody that you like or to nobody. It can just go straight to their task calendar. And the errors, that's nothing to worry about. That's just something that we work with on the back end in case anything. You might have an error or something that page might have taken too long to load. So we need to know those type of things to take a look. But that is a pretty brief rundown. I hope I showed you everything. I probably ran through it too fast on you. So just, once you get this, and I'll also shoot a quick one, really brief, since I showed you through the functionality on how it looks on mobile. So just give me a call and we can talk about anything that I shorted you on here, and I apologize for how quick it was.